as well as all the delegates who have flown in from different parts of Gujarat to take part in this two-day CREDAI conclave. First of all, I would like to, before I start, I would like to thank CREDAI Gujarat team for inviting me in this unique panel discussion, and hope we can draw some results out of it. If you ask me, then according to me, real estate at pan-India level is at a threshold point as of now. If you just rewind 10 years behind and think about the last 10 years of real estate, then according to me it was a transition period, an era of transition for real estate. Now why a transition period? Because real estate was an unorganized, informal sector, but now it has started moving towards more of formalization. New young developers, entrepreneurs and technocrats have entered into this field and have already started streamlining and channelizing all the processes. We have seen a tremendous growth in last 10 years due to increasing trend of urbanization, flow of foreign direct investments, some good state as well as central government policy and reforms. But the main important point, the main propelling factor of our growth was the thrust on infrastructure. Today we are sitting here discussing regarding the real estate scenario, coming few years, what would happen. According to me, this 10 years from 2012 to 2025 are the most challenging years for real estate. As a young developer, as a young entrepreneur, for me the scopes are endless. Because India, from being a developing nation, would slowly move towards being a developed nation. So there are endless opportunities for all of us present here, and all of us needs to understand the growth potential and needs to work towards a holistic approach of development, so that we as a sector now gets converted into a powerful industry, and we as a powerful industry can contribute and play a vital role in the development of new India. According to me, what needs to be done in this coming 10 years so that we can improve, so that we can achieve our goals and achieve a goal of Gujarat 2020. There are 5 things which I have shortlisted in my mind, which I would like to share. First one, being an inclusive development, which others recently just discussed. The development should be such that it should include all the segments of the society. The development should benefit the lower segment as well as the upper segment. If we proceed in this direction, then only our cities would be a better place to live in. That is one. Second is, what kind of a growth are we looking at? Are we looking at a smart growth in which cities are compact and infrastructure is in place, or we are looking at pocket type development or segregated development or sprawling cities? According to me, the thrust should be given by the development agencies on areas which has infrastructure. We should give thrust on that areas rather than waiting for infrastructure to come on the periphery of the city. So that is one thing. So smart growth is one thing which we need to keep in mind and move forward with. The third part after smart growth is the type of development which we want to undertake. So sustainable development is the key. Everybody talks about, and the entire world, the most burning issue is about environmental concerns. So we as an industry should also take an initiative, start using green building materials, start using new technologies which we discussed in last session. We should use technologies in the field of design so that better structures can be designed. We should use technology in the field of construction so that quality can be improved as well as cost of construction can be brought down. In the field of marketing so that we can target larger audience and reach our end users in a better way. As well as in the field of project management so that the delivery of product is delivered to the right end user at the right time in right quality. So this was regarding the sustainable development. So after inclusive development, we need to go for smart growth. Then we also need to plan about sustainable development. Now the fourth thing which I want to convey is a very important part is land. Everybody discusses about land, that land is a very scarce commodity. Prices of land are increasing, which is impacting the housing sector. So one thought which should arise in our mind: are we judiciously using land? Is the use of land optimized or not? If we compare FSIs, right now there is a huge discussion going on across Ahmedabad due to the new development plan. The government has increased the FSI from 2.25 to 2.7 and at some areas to 4. Now if we compare India as a whole, the average FSI of our cities is between 1 to 4. But let us compare ourselves with other countries, which are developed countries. If we compare ourselves with maybe New York, Shanghai, or Hong Kong, then their average FSI is anywhere between 12 to 15. So Secondly, if you look at the land per man ratio here in India, we have 4,000 square yard per person land available here at pan India level. If we compare to China also, whose population is larger than us in size, their per man to land ratio is around 8,500 square yard per person. So are we judiciously utilizing land? So that is one thing which everybody needs to keep in mind, and we should plan and we should modify our planning mechanism in such a way, using FSI as a tool, so that the land can be properly utilized. And last, fifth point, which is again a very important point, is, as Adarsh also rightly told, we need to change our mindsets. As Akshay Bhai also told recently, adaptation of technology, we need to change our mindsets. Radical approach, both by the development authorities as well as by the developers, is required at this point of time. By radical approach, I mean flexibility in development control regulation is required. If I give you just a simple small example, as I discussed, development plan is out and is in review for 60 days. For me, it's very hard to understand how a 500-page report can determine 10 years of a city growth. There are n number of factors, n number of other important things which would influence the growth of the city. If I give an example of one area of Ahmedabad, in 2002 development plan, R2 and R3 was introduced behind Rajpath Club in Bodakdev area, which is commonly known as Bodakdev TP 50, 51, 217. Now at that time, that area's potential was not that great, and the price of land was anywhere around 4,000, 5,000 rupees per square yard. And it was for 10 years that zone had to be kept as R2 and R3. Now, in 2006-2007, the potential of the area started increasing, but because it was decided that the FSI should be very less there, government was not able to change, or the development authorities were not able to review. And the land prices shot up from around 5,000-6,000 odd rupees per square yard to 80,000-90,000 rupees per square yard. So I recommend, yes, development plan should tell about FSIs, should tell about zoning, should tell about land use, but it should be implemented into shorter time span, so that in case any such factor, any such additional factor or issues arise, then it can be redressed, it can be addressed at that particular point rather than waiting for 10 years. So that is one. Secondly, as I told you, land was an issue, and it is an issue today. Affordability is straight away linked to land. 70% of the cost of a house is land, as everybody knows. So, why land is an issue? One of the major issues which we all would agree is because of speculation which takes place in land market today. How to reduce speculation? So, why can't we think of something innovative, like for example, we increase FSI, but why flat increase of FSI is required? Why can't we link FSI with time? For example, if a preliminary sanction of TP scheme is taken place, from preliminary sanction, for 2 years in that particular area or for 3 years, let the FSI go, increase, and then after 3 years it should come back at the same which the area has. So by doing this, development, this role of speculator would reduce. Speculator would sell off their land because FSI is more in a couple of years. After that, the FSI would come down, and that would promote genuine developers to buy the land and they would develop. So in this way, innovative use of FSI, innovative use of planning mechanism is required, so that the existing burning issues which our sector is facing today can be resolved. Last but not the least, we at Ahmedabad are fortunate enough, if we compare ourselves with Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad or Bangalore, their infrastructure situation is much more in a critical situation than ours. They have started using innovative technologies in terms of construction. They have started adopting changes in development control regulation, but the results are not that great because the problem is very acute. Fortunately, in our case, still the problem is not that acute. So why can't we plan and prepare for future right now? For example, we can think of satellite towns around Ahmedabad. We can develop Sanand, Kadi, Kalol, Ahmedabad as satellite towns. The government should give incentives to developers to go there and build houses, basic infrastructure. They should provide trunk infrastructure like drainage, electricity, road, and also build schools and colleges there. And link satellite towns with the mother town by a high-speed transit corridor, so that the load of infrastructure, the load of floating population or urbanization is less on cities like Ahmedabad. And so they can sustain in a better way. Lastly, before I conclude, I would like to definitely put forward one point, that yes, Gujarat is the fastest growing state. Yes, Gujarat is the most talked about state in the country. But at this time, when inflation rates are going high, where GDP growth is falling down, where the inflow of FDI is also lowest compared to the last 4 years, if you see the records, And at the time when our industry particularly is facing two severe problems of rise in raw materials, the cost of raw materials are increasing, and the labor shortage problem, we all as a developers need to get together, channelize all our resources and work for a holistic development growth so that our dream of Vision 2020 Gujarat can be achieved. Thank you.